and welcome to this week's YouTube video. Today I'm going to show you how to use orange in your oil paintings. Orange can be a bit tricky because using it incorrectly can result in your paintings looking muddy. In this video I will show you how to avoid muddy paintings when your object is predominantly orange. I will be using this orange tabby cat as an example. It is important to understand where orange sits on the colour wheel. Orange is the second warmest colour, red being the warmest. As colours move away from red, they become cooler. Blue is our coolest colour. Orange, therefore, is a warm colour. What causes muddy paintings? Where a painting has too many warm colours, it becomes muddy in appearance. Because orange is a warm colour, it is very easy to overdo it and the result will be muddy. If we take this tabby cat as an example, notice that my orange soon transitions into red, my warmest colour on the colour wheel, and in parts yellow also, again another warm colour. Therefore, it's very easy for me to get this wrong. What can I do to overcome this issue? It is very important to understand for a painting to look realistic and be successful, it needs both warm and cool colours in it. If we go back to our colour wheel, you will see that my colour opposites will always give me the cool alternative that will always work with my warmer hues. In this painting, I am using predominantly orange and red. Therefore, my cool alternatives are green and blue. My warm palette for this painting is red and orange. My cool palette is green and blue. Let's have a look at the colours I mixed up for this painting. The colours on my palette are cadmium yellow, yellow ochre light, transparent yellow oxide, cadmium red, alizarin crimson, transparent red oxide, ultramarine deep, and titanium zinc white. On the far right, I have a red black. This is a mix of transparent red oxide, alizarin crimson, and a small amount of ultramarine deep. Moving one along, I've mixed up a red-orange of cadmium red and yellow ochre light. My last orange is a mix of cadmium yellow and alizarin crimson. I have my cool colours on the second line. On the far right, I have a green-blue. This mix consists of yellow ochre light and ultramarine deep. Moving one across, this is my green-black with ultramarine deep plus transparent yellow oxide. My last green is a mix of cadmium yellow and ultramarine deep. How I use these colours. Using orange and blue as an example. Opposite colours neutralise each other. If I mix orange and blue together, it will give me a brown. Think of it as a sliding scale with a neutral brown right in the middle. If I have more orange in my mix, my brown will be warmer. If I have more blue in my mix, it will be cooler. This gives me my warm, cool palette. I will always be mixing my colours somewhere along this sliding scale, depending upon whether I am trying to make a warm colour or a cool colour. Let's have a look at my finished painting and you will see exactly what I mean. In this area I have more orange, my colour is warmer. But look at these areas on the paw, around the chin and around the eyes. In these areas I have more blue in my paint, so my colours look cooler. Notice the effect this has had on my painting, how it transitions between warm and cool colours across the cat's coat. Because I have both warm and cool colours, it makes my cat look more realistic. Red behaves in exactly the same way, except I am using my green instead of my blue for my cool areas. In this area, right in the deep shadows, I have used my warmest, darkest red, but notice these strips along the legs, I have used more green in my reds, so they are more muted. But what about the value? How do I adjust my colours to take into account how light or dark I want my colours to be? Remember, white is a cool colour. When I add white to any mixture, it will make it cooler and lighter. If I am aiming for a warm light, I may need to add more yellow or orange to my mix as I add my white. All of my yellows will behave differently. My warmest yellow on my palette is my yellow ochre light because it is closer to orange. My transparent yellow is also a warmer yellow, and because the paint is transparent, it will hold its colour better than yellow ochre light when mixed with white. My coolest yellow is cadmium yellow, but this is my most saturated yellow, so it will give me a stronger yellow when added to white, but it will be cooler than the other two yellows. If I am not trying to mix a warmer, lighter colour, I can just add white. Or if I need to push it cooler, I can add either my green or blue to the white as well. If I need to make my colours darker, I have the choice of my warm black, which I can add to my mix. If I need to push it darker but more orange, I can also add my transparent yellow to my warm black too. Because this colour is transparent, it will not lighten my mixture like my other two yellows will. If I need to push my mixture darker and cooler, I have the choice of just my blue or my black green. So to recap then, if I want to change the value of my colours, I can use white or yellow to lighten, or black, red, blue or black, green to darken. Always think about whether you are trying to mix a warm or cool colour, because colours that affect your value will affect your temperature too. Finally, how should I lay my paint? I have painted this alla prima. The first layer of this painting is called a scumbling layer. This is where I lay my paint very thin to give me an idea what I am looking at. It is much easier to judge colour, value and temperature when you have something on the canvas to judge it by. The second layer of this painting is thicker, and I am using Eclipse comber brushes to drag edges into each other and also lay wet paint on top of wet paint. Because they are long-haired, they do not drag off the layers from underneath. They are not so good though if you want a bit of a definite edge, and tend to make everything look very soft. So I vary my brushes between short-haired flat brushes, which are great for loading and giving me stronger edges, and Eclipse combers, which are great for pulling edges but give it a softer effect. I have not used medium in either layers. Use the paint straight from the tube as it makes wet on wet painting easier. I have not allowed the paint to dry between the layers. I hope you now have a better idea of how to approach orange objects so that you can use these techniques in your own paintings. Colour theory is a hard topic to understand, but sticking to a warm, cool palette will make it easier. I hope you have enjoyed today's video and found it useful. Please like and subscribe if you can, and check out my website sarahhallidayart.com, where you will find examples of my work and also details of online classes that I run. Thank you for watching, and see you for the next one.